going to break this scenario down to you. You're up 14 points in the fourth quarter against a team that has really nothing to play for. And a team that has amassed, up to that point, 17 penalties. Hasn't really turned the ball over, but not really careful with the ball. A team you have dominated for pretty much most of the second half. How do you lose that game? We're going to discuss it because that's what happened last night in the Falcons-Buccaneers game. Plus, today is Pick'em Friday. I'm going to be picking who I believe should win the Heisman Trophy. I will pick the winner of the Army-Navy game, and I will pick all the remaining NFL games for Week 15. We're going to get into all that and maybe a little bit more here today in the Ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on a Pick'em Friday, December 12th, 2025. So let's get right into it. Last night, Falcons-Buccaneers. One team playing basically fighting for a playoff spot, fighting to win the division, the NFC South, tied with Carolina. That would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another team has nothing to play for, eliminated from the playoffs, loses a lot of close games, has talent, but loses a lot of close games, tends to choke games away. That will be the Atlanta Falcons. So, this game's in Tampa. So, you're thinking with the Bucs, if you're not even a fan of either team, you just watch football, you would think the odds are in the Bucs' favor to win this game, right? Well, in the words of the immortal ESPN's Chris Berman, that's why they play the game. Somehow, some way, by some, I don't know what you would call it, divine intervention, what have you, the Atlanta Falcons pulled out improbable, and if you're a Bucs fan, heartbreaking 29-28 win over the Bucs last night in Tampa, dropping the Bucs record to 7-7, and right now they're a half a game behind Carolina Panthers. If you heard the post-game rant by the Buccaneers head coach, it's all true. You have to feel the same way. I mean, he went off. The Bucs head coach went off. Todd Bowles. He went off in that post-game press conference, and he should, quote unquote. You don't make excuses. You got to bleeping care enough when the bleep hurts. It's got to bleep mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your bleep livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? You can't sugarcoat that bleep, end quote. If you're any head coach, if you're a fan, that one hurts. If you're a Bucs fan, that one hurts. It stings. I'm pretty sure a lot of Buccaneers fans won't get the head coach fired after this one. And I would have to agree. I would have to agree with them. There is no effing way the Bucs should have lost this game last night. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons team that committed 19 penalties. 19! If I'm not mistaken, that is the most penalties they've ever committed in one game in their franchise's history. 19 penalties for 100 and I believe 75 yards. Something like that. It was, if a team is making that many mistakes and with a turnover in the fourth quarter that the Bucs turned into a touchdown that put them up 2 scores, roughly a little more than halfway through the fourth quarter. This game should have been over. People should have been heading to bed, going home, heading to bed. Game's over. I thought the game was over when the Bucs went up 28-14. I stopped watching. I said, well, this one's over with. Again, Chris Berman. That's why they play the game. Also, that's why a football game is 4 quarters, not 3.5. If it was 3.5, the Bucs would have won. But somehow, some way, Kirk Cousins, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and the Atlanta Falcons found a way to score 15 unanswered points within the last 6 minutes of the game. Somehow, some way. Now, there were a lot of controversial calls toward the end of that game. I know y'all thinking the Kyle Pitts touchdown, the little 7-yard touchdown pass, Kyle Pitts, where it looked like on replay that his elbow landed right there on the chalk, right there on the white line, right out of bounds. But they said his booty, his rear end, his tushy, landed just before the elbow did. That's why the referees gave him the touchdown. I personally, at the first glance, I thought it was incomplete because his elbow landed out of bounds. But at the replay, I saw that his butt, by the slimmest of margins, touched down in bounds, and his feet had already been in bounds. His feet has already been in bounds as he was falling backwards. His butt landing in bounds just before the elbow hit the white chalk. So they gave him a touchdown. And the other controversial call was the fumble that was recovered, strangely enough, by both an Atlanta player and a Tampa Bay player. And the refs gave the ball back to Atlanta. That one had me scratching my head. I'm thinking, if you saw the play, I'm pretty sure you saw the play. That when, I believe it was Bijan Watson, when he fumbled that ball, it was surrounded by nothing but orange creamsicle colored uniforms. How the hell did the Falcons player recover that ball? How did he even get close to touching it? That ball was surrounded by no less than 4 Bucs defenders when that ball hit the ground. I didn't really think I saw a Falcons player go in there to grab the ball. Yet, somehow a Falcons player and a Bucs player both grabbed the ball simultaneously, and they awarded the ball back to Atlanta. I was like, huh? How's that possible? That is one I still need to look up. I was like, can that be possible that on a fumbled ball, both a player on offense and on defense grab the ball at the same time? Shouldn't it be the player that grabbed the ball first? I'm pretty sure that I've never seen 2 players, one on offense, one on defense, on a fumbled ball, on a loose ball, or any loose ball really, grab it at the same time. Usually one player grabs it slightly before the other player. That's usually how it works. At least that's how I've seen it. But nevertheless, they gave the ball back to Atlanta. Yet, a couple plays later, he fumbled. That's what the touchdown that led to the touchdown that put Tampa Bay up 14 points. 2 scores. He's bringing this game over. And even then, when Atlanta came back to within 2 points, 28-26, Tampa Bay, after a sack on Kirk Cousins, and a penalty, an accepted 10-yard holding penalty, they had Atlanta 3rd and 28 with a little over a minute remaining. 3rd and 28. Yeah, they let one pass on third down go for 14 yards. Okay, 4th and 14. 4th and 14. At this point, you're putting everybody in zone. Keep everybody in front of you. Don't let nobody go long, no past the yard marker and get the ball. Yet, somehow, some way, in some miracle fashion, David Seals caught a 17-yard reception on 4th and 14 to keep the drive going. And 3 plays later, they got in field goal range, and Zane Gonzalez, and even that was a miracle. Zane Gonzalez, 43-yard field goal that just sneaked into the left upright. I'm telling you, God, the football gods, and every other god you can imagine had to been on the Falcons side, because there's no way they should have won that game last night. No freaking way. No way. Even after the Baker Mayfield interception, there's still no way Atlanta should have won that game. No way. With all the penalties, all the miscues, 19 penalties, a damaging turnover that led to the Tampa Bay Bucks going up 2 scores roughly halfway through the 4th quarter. There is no way you blow that game at home. Yet somehow Tampa Bay did. And now, I wouldn't say Tampa Bay is in trouble. They still control their own destiny, even after this very heartbreaking loss. But they've lost 5 of the last 6, including 2 in a row at home against the bottom dwellers in their own division. New Orleans last week, the Falcons last night. But yet, they still have a chance to win the division. Because, let's face it, I said this yesterday when I was making my who I think will be in the playoffs. I said, whoever wins the NFC South will be the one going to the playoffs. The other team going home. And because there's just too many teams in front of both these teams for them to get wild card spots. So it's division title or you're going home. And with the Bucks Bucks have 2 games. They got to play 2 games. They have 2 of their last 3 games against the Carolina Panthers. So December 21st, they go to Carolina, then they go to Miami, and then they play their last home game against Carolina. So if the Bucks win out, they can win the division. But they cannot afford another loss. One more loss and they're done. So that's where Tampa Bay is. Tampa Bay hurt themselves last night by losing this game because they controlled their own destiny. But now they have no more margin for error. None. They must win their remaining 3 games. They cannot afford to lose a game, especially to Carolina. They lose 1 game to Carolina, be it at home or on the road, Carolina's going to win the division. No matter what Carolina does Sunday. If the Bucks are basically have their backs against the wall, they cannot afford to lose another game. That's how damaging last night's loss was, and unexplicable. It's an unexplicable loss. You're up 14 points against a team that has amassed 19 penalties, and you have shut them down for most of the second half. Atlanta was winning 14-13 at the break. So they were shut down for most of the second half until roughly halfway through the 4th quarter. And then the Tampa Bay defense just stopped playing. They did what They did last night what it has been doing all year. It didn't finish. For once, the Falcons, and I still believe it's by divine intervention and the football gods finally smiling on them for one night, found a way to finish. The Bucs didn't. It was like a role reversal last night. And Tampa Bay, I don't know. I think they will recover from this, but like I said, no margin for error. You cannot lose another game, Tampa Bay. You know it. You put yourselves in this position by losing the teams. And the thing is, they haven't been getting blown out. They've lost 5 of their last 6. They lost 5 of their last 6 games. 3 of those losses were within 1 score. Lost to New England 28-23. Lost to New Orleans 24-20. Lost to Atlanta last night 29-28. So 3 of those 5 losses were within 1 score. They win 2 of those games. They probably be leading the division by at least a game or 2, and they probably only need 1 more win to salt the division away. That's the close margin it is in the NFL sometimes. That's why it's not me talking. That's the facts. That's the numbers. Those one play here, one call that goes your way here, one call that doesn't go your way there could cost you, could keep you out of the playoffs. In this case, it could keep you out of the playoffs. Again, Tampa Bay, they have to win their remaining 3 games because 2 of them are against Carolina. They cannot afford another loss. And I believe they know that. I believe the coaching staff knows that. But here's my question to you guys. At one point, Tampa Bay was 6-2. Rolling along, beating everybody. Winning close games, winning close games. All day. What happened to them? Now they're losing these close games. What happened? Was it the defense? Was it all those injuries they're still recovering from on offense? I mean, last night I think was the first game all season long where they had their full complement of wide receivers. Godwin, Evans, Ibuka. And for a while they looked good. But the defense let up. And it's been letting up over the past month or so. And Todd Bowles is supposed to be a defensive guru. At least that's what I've heard. What's going on? So, what's going on with the Bucs defense? Have they lost their edge? Or is it the injuries to key personnel? I don't know what it could be. But here's my question to you guys. If the Bucs do not win this division, a division they've had a stranglehold on for the past 4 years, should Todd Bowles be canned, fired, axed, whatever you want to call it? Should he be fired? 6-2 record, and then you end the year not even winning the division. The division you had a stranglehold on for at least the good part of the first half of the year. And if this collapse keeps continuing, should Todd Bowles be fired? That's the question I'm posing to you guys. Drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, if the Buccaneers blow this division and end up being at home for the playoffs, should head coach Todd Bowles be fired? Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Now, here are my teams that I think need NFL now. These are teams that I think need a win this weekend. Maybe for prime, maybe to keep their playoff hopes alive, maybe for draft positioning. But here's 5 teams. 5. I'll pick 5 teams that I believe need a win this weekend. Let's start in the AFC. Team that needs a win this weekend, the Baltimore Ravens. There was a heartbreaking loss they took to Pittsburgh at home. Yes, it was. But it's still, they're still in the mix to win the division because they got to play Pittsburgh again. So, but they cannot fall behind any more than they are. They're only one game back. But you might as well say they're 2 games back because Pittsburgh already beat them once. So even though the standings they're a game behind, you can really say they're 2 games behind because a head-to-head tiebreaker right now, Pittsburgh, and divisional tiebreaker, Pittsburgh has the advantage. So Baltimore, who will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati this weekend, they need, by all means necessary, they need to pull this game out. If they do not pull this game out, I do not see the Ravens winning the division. I don't even see them making the playoffs. I really don't. I don't. If the Ravens do not pull this game out this weekend, I think they're done for a wild card spot, and they may be in very, very, very serious danger of not winning the division. So Baltimore needs this dub this weekend against the Bengals. Can they get it? I don't like their defense. Joe Burrow's back. He's going to be at home. His first home game since he's been hurt, since he come back from injury. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they put up points. They put up some serious points against the Buffalo Bills. And if it wasn't for those 2 turnovers, I think the Bengals could have picked the Bills off in Buffalo. So they're gonna be psyched up, and with Joe Burrow playing at home, despite his comments, I ain't worried about his comments. He's gonna be at home. His fans gonna want him to stay. He's gonna have that crowd, but the Ravens need to show up. Their defense needs to show up. The Bengals' offensive line is not that good at all. The Bengals cannot run the ball worth a damn. So they're gonna the Ravens should be throwing everything: the kitchen sink, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, stove, and the microwave. And if they can lift it, the washer and the dryer at Joe Burrow, they should throw everything at him, make him uncomfortable all game long. That's the only way I see the Ravens having a chance to beat the Bengals in Cincinnati. And hang on to the ball, of course. But the Ravens, they need this win this weekend, or else it might be I think they'll be done as far as a wild card spot. They're already 6-7. I think they'll be done for a wild card spot. Done. I don't see them getting a wild card spot, especially with Houston with 8 wins, Indianapolis with 8 wins, Chargers 9 wins. I don't see them getting a playoff spot as a wild card. So their only way they can get in is winning the division. And if they lose this game, that like I said, they don't hold the tiebreakers over the Steelers. They need to keep a pace with the Steelers. They need to keep pace. Another team that needs to win this weekend, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys need a win. They're home playing the Vikings. I know the Vikings just shut out Washington, but that's Washington. That's Washington. This is the Dallas Cowboys. Their offense is Super Bowl caliber. Everybody know that. When they're healthy, Dak, Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, running back was it Devontae Adams or Devontae Smith? They have a Super Bowl caliber offense. Defense is still a work in progress, as we saw last week. when Detroit dropped 44 points on them with relative ease. So their defense is a work in progress. However, this game is in Arlington. So, and then it's Arlington Sunday night. All eyes gonna be on them. They need to get this win. At 6-1, their only path, in my eyes, their only path to the playoff is to win the division. And they're just like the Bucs. They are in no position to lose another game. They need to win out. As far as Dallas is concerned, they need to win out and hope the Eagles still continue this little tailspin that they're in. With them losing 3 in a row, that's what Dallas needs. They need to win out. They cannot afford another game. And the remaining 4 games are all winnable. You have the Vikings this Sunday. Then you got the Chargers. Then you got the Giants. And you got the Commanders. These are 4 winnable games for the Dallas Cowboys. And if they want to have any chance of making the playoff, winning the division, they need to win out. So they need this win of this weekend. No doubt about it. Another team needs a win. The Detroit Lions. They're sitting 8-5. For a lot of the teams, that's a decent record. For the Lions in the NFC North, that places them 3rd, behind Green Bay 9-3-1 and Chicago 9-4. Detroit is heading to play the LA Rams. Not an easy task. They're trying to beat who I think is the second best team in the NFC, behind the Seahawks. Not an easy task to try to beat the Rams in Los Angeles. And yeah, I know we know the storyline. Jared Goff playing his old team, Matthew Stafford playing his old team. Forget all that. Where Detroit Lions defense will it travel out to Los Angeles? It's been that the Detroit Lions defense hasn't been a model of real success lately. Especially after letting one go against Green Bay and giving up 30 points, and it could have been a lot more to the Dallas Cowboys at home. Now you're going out to Los Angeles, playing a very good Rams offense. Very good, elite Rams offense. With Stafford, Pakua, whatever his name is, Devontae Adams, they have a formidable offense, and you have to account for it every single possession if you're the Detroit Lions, because you need this win. You need this win to keep pace with the Bears and the Packers in your own division, and to give yourself a better chance of grabbing a wild card spot if you cannot catch said teams, the Bears and the Packers. So you need this win. Detroit, if you want to get back into the playoff, you need to pick up this win this weekend. So that's 3 teams. You got the Ravens, you got the Cowboys, Cowboys, and Detroit Lions. Another team needs to win this weekend. It's weird to say it. Carolina Panthers. They need a win this weekend. But Falcons helped them out. Yes, they did. So they need to pick up a win this weekend. That puts them a game up on the Bucs, because they do have to play them 2 out of the last 3 games. 2 of the last 3 games. So it would behoove the Carolina Panthers to go into the Superdome and take care of business against the lowly New Orleans Saints. Don't do what Tampa Bay did last night. A needed win, must win, and you choke the game away late, as the Bucs did last night. Don't do that. I hope the Panthers are taking notes. They cannot do that Because any given Sunday, you just don't know. Saints beat the Bucs in Tampa last week. So I don't think they're going to be scared of the Carolina Panthers, especially in this game's and the Superdome. So, but the Panthers, if they want to augment their gift that the Falcons gave them last night by beating the Bucs, they need to win this game tonight. Sunday. They need to win it. They don't need to be doing what the Bucs did. Put some game up if they win, and the pressure's all on the Bucs. The pressure's all on the Bucs because all the Panthers would need to do is beat them once. If the Panthers can pull this win out against New Orleans, all they would have to do is beat the Bucs one time, and they will win the division and go to the playoffs. So, big needed win for the Carolina Panthers. And finally, team that needs a win, I'm going to say it right out. It's a team that ain't going nowhere. Ain't going to the playoffs. Basically, one of the worst teams in the league is the Cleveland Browns. They're going to be playing in cold, windy Chicago against the Bears. And the Bears, I'm pretty sure they loving the fact that they're going to have a rookie quarterback coming into their house in frigid, cold, freezing temperatures. I've heard that the starting temperature at kickoff was going to be around 10, 11 degrees with the wind chill right around 0. 1 above or 0. And it's supposed to be a 20-mile-an-hour gusty wind coming off of that lake. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't pay to watch that in person. Not that cold. No. I mean, that's that cold that chills your bones. But that's how it's going to be in Chicago. And the Browns, this is probably the biggest test, if not the biggest test for Shedeur Sanders to find out if he is and will be and can be the quarterback of the future for the Browns. There's been all kind of rumors and all kind of innuendo about the Browns trading up in the first round of the draft or what have you, or using one of their first round picks to draft another quarterback. Shedeur Sanders can put all that noise to bed if he gives an outstanding performance against the Bears on the road in cold weather conditions. He can put most of that noise to bed. And he will prove to himself, he will prove to the team, the coaches, and the fans. If he has an outstanding performance, I'm not saying he's going to throw for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns. But if he can take care of the ball, lead couple of nice scoring drives, 2, maybe 3 nice scoring drives, and if the Browns somehow win this game with him at the helm, it will put a lot of this noise to bed. A lot of it. About they should draft another quarterback in the next draft. You can put all that noise to bed with a good performance and a needed win in Chicago. Like I said, they're playing for pride. They're not in the playoffs. They're going nowhere near it. But if they want to get out of that noise of having to pick another quarterback in the next draft, they need to get this win. And they need Shedeur Sanders to ball out a little bit. They need it. So, those are my 5 teams that I think need wins this weekend. 4 of them need wins to keep the playoff hopes alive. And 1 needs them so they don't have to draft another quarterback in the next draft. Which I'm pretty sure a lot of Browns fans are getting really sick and tired of doing. So, Let's see how it turns out for him. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit me up with a comment if you want. Don't forget, I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. Total Sports Ozone. At Total Sports Ozone. Now, let's get into it. Is now Pick'em Friday. This is where I make my picks weekly. Since the college football season is pretty much over, we are in the bowl season. I will have my bowl selection picks next week as they go. There's a lot of bowl games. I will pick my first round college football playoff picks next Friday. And I will try to pick the bowl games that will be playing, because there will be a lot of bowl games next week. I'll pick the winner of who I think is bowl game on that day as they come around. But this week, I'm going to pick who I think will win the Heisman Trophy. Now, the current betting odds, if I'm according to one sports book, has Fernando Mendoza as the leading favorite, somewhere in the negative 1,000 to minus 2,000 range, minus 1,200 to 2,000 depending on the book. Diego Pavia is second at plus 700 to plus 900 depending on what book you use. Jeremiah Love is long shot third, plus 1,500, and Ohio State's Julian Sand will be fourth. Now, I said last week, if you heard my podcast and you saw it, I said last week, the quarterback that won the Big Ten championship game between Ohio State and Indiana most likely would be the winner of the Heisman Trophy. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to go with Fernando Mendoza of Indiana. He should win this, probably going away. And like I said, if Julian Sand would have won it, that Big Ten championship, he probably would have won. I think it really came down to those two. Then, again, it was a tight game, but Fernando Mendoza made the plays. He made just one, maybe two more plays more than Julian Sand did. And that's why Indiana won. And that's why I believe Mendoza should win the Heisman Trophy. Probably going away. I don't think it's going to be a really close vote. Jeremiah Love, yes, he came on strong in the last, 7, 8 games. Notre Dame, but the thing is, they ain't playing nobody. That's what I think will hold Jeremiah Love back. They ain't playing nobody. A, and B, they ain't make the playoffs. And Diego Pavia, of course, he came on strong himself. But in the big games, the two biggest games on their schedule, Alabama, Texas, he tried, but he didn't deliver. I think that's what is going to hold Pavia back. I think Pavia is an excellent quarterback. I think he's excellent. He can throw, he can run, he's tough. But in this instance, those two games will cost him the Heisman Trophy. If he'd have balled out in one of them, if he'd have balled out against Alabama, came back and beat Alabama, I think he should have won. I would have put him at the top of my list. But, like I said, it came down to who the best player on the best team. And it came down to Mendoza and Sand, the best players on the best teams. And right now, Indiana won their head-to-head matchup with Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. So right now, as we go into the playoffs, they're the best team. And Fernando Mendoza was the best player. He was already been voted AP College Football Player of the Year. So odds are he's going to be picking up some hardwares tomorrow night in New York. And he deserves it. So that's my pick. I picked Mendoza. I think Sand will be second. He'll be second or very close third. behind Diego probably. I believe Jeremiah Love will be fourth. Again, what hurt Jeremiah Love is the fact that he ain't play nobody. He ain't played too much a significant team on a 10-game winning streak. They ain't play too much. They ain't play nobody really of significance, and they ain't make the playoffs. So again, Mendoza first. I believe Sam will be second. Pivia third. Jeremiah Love fourth. That's my pick on the Heisman Trophy winners and how the runner-ups will finish. Pick. What do you think? Think I'm right? I'm probably right. I know I'm right. But what do you think? Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, the traditional, I'm going to make one pick in college football. One. And that is the traditional Army-Navy game. Arguably one of the best rivalries, traditional-wise, in all of sports. The Army-Navy game. Being played in Baltimore. Navy is favored by 6.5 with an over-under 38.5. I'm an Army man. I'm a veteran, United States Army. So logic would tell me to go with Army. I ain't doing that. I've seen Navy play. I've seen it in one or two games go the another way. They very well could have been in the college football playoff. One or two games go a different direction than they did go. I mean, the thing is, they got blown out. Navy got blown out by North Texas. If they had hung in there and won that one, they didn't won that one, they could have made some noise in the college football playoff. I guarantee they're that good. I believe Navy is that good. They run the ball. That's what they do. They play great defense when everybody is healthy. So I'm going to go with Navy to win this game in a rout. I'm sorry, Army people. Like I said, I'm an Army veteran. And in my heart, I want Army to win. But I got to go with the facts. And the facts, to me, say Navy going to blow these boys out the water. I'm sorry. I'm just telling it like I see it. Navy going to blow these boys out the water. Give me Navy minus the 6.5. I'll take the over on the 38.5. Again, Navy is going to blow these boys out the water like a torpedo hitting the dang on sub. That's what they're going to do. So, that's my college football pick of the week. Now, let's move on to the NFL. For week 15, here's my picks. Again, I use the spread. I'm not going to tell you what sports book I use, but I'm picking against the spread, and I always pick the over-under. So, here's my picks for week 15. Let's start it off with the Jets going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. That game's a 1 p.m. start Eastern. The Jacksonville Jaguars are favored by 13.5 with an over-under 41.5. Now, Jaguars have been really good of late. They have been awfully good as of late. They're first place in the AFC South. They've been able to run the ball effectively. And I like the fact that Trevor Lawrence has turned into a game manager. He's not, he looks like he's been tasked to not win the game. He ain't got to go out and win the game. Just don't lose it. So he's basically been turned into a game manager. And I think that suits him. Suits his game. Takes a lot of pressure off him. Let him run the ball, play good. That's what Jacksonville does. They run the ball well, play great defense. And it's working. And it's going to work against the Jets. Because I don't see the Jets do anything well. And they have no quarterback. They don't have no quarterback. I don't want to hear about, what's his name, Tyrod Taylor. Whatever. They don't have a quarterback. And they don't do anything well. So I'll take the Jaguars. I'll lay the 13.5. I think they'll win it by 15, 16 points. So I'll lay the 13.5, but give me the Jaguars. But I'm gonna take the under and over under 41.5. I don't see the Jets scoring more than 10 points. So that's why I gotta go under. That game again, 1 o'clock Eastern. Next, Arizona travels to Houston to take on a very hot Houston Texans team. Houston favored by 9.5 with an over under 42.5. You gotta like Houston. Their defense is the truth. Probably the best defense right now in the National Football League. They get after quarterbacks. They get interceptions. They do it all. That defense to me is hell on wheels. And now CJ Stroud is coming back into his own. I still think they need their running game is, but CJ Stroud has been making great decisions with the ball lately, and his receivers have been helping him out. His line has been blocking a lot better than earlier in this season. The line is jailed. So you got CJ Stroud balling out, coupled with a top 5 defense. Arizona ain't got a chance. I don't think so. They don't have a chance in this one. They might be game for maybe a quarter, but after that, Houston's going to turn it on. Give me Houston minus the 9.5, and I'll take the under on the over-under 42.5. Again, that game's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Now, here's one of the games of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills heading to New England to take on the New England Patriots. This is basically a playoff, a division eliminator, a division winner and division eliminator game. Buffalo lose, New England wins the division. That's basically it. New England wins this game. They are the AFC East champs. So Buffalo needs this game badly. I should have added them in one of my teams that need this win bad. But they do need to win badly. And somehow, some way, I don't know how, but Buffalo is favored in this game by 1.5. Over under 49.5. How the hell did that happen? Didn't New England beat Buffalo in Buffalo earlier this year? Ain't New England a team that won, 10 in a row? How in the hell is Buffalo favored? That's a head scratcher. Look at you going, how is that possible? Maybe because Josh Allen has been balling his ass off the last 2 or 3 games. He single-handedly won the last 2 games. Josh Allen. Well, a little help from a couple of turnovers last week. But Josh Allen wheeled this team back. They were 10 down in the 4th quarter. And he wheeled them to victory. And he's going to have to. Because I don't trust Buffalo's defense. Do you? Do you trust their defense? I don't. I do not think Buffalo's defense is Super Bowl caliber. It's barely playoff caliber. Which is why I think New England will beat this team at home. Give me New England. And I'll take the 1.5, but I think New England will win this game by at least one full score, maybe 2. And they will be this year's AFC East champions. I got New England plus the 1.5. I will take the under on the over-under 49.5. It's cold up there. It's cold. I don't think it'll be too much in abundant scoring. But I'll take the under 49.5. But that's a huge game. That's a game that I think the whole, everybody in the nation should be able to watch this game. Buffalo, New England. Because New England can prove once and for all that they are now, again, the beasts of the East. That game's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Next, we got the Chargers at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 5.5. I don't know how. Over under 41.5. There's another team that definitely need. Another team Like I said, I got 5. There's plenty more, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they have no margin for error again. They have no margin for error whatsoever. They're sitting at 6-7. And right now, they're on the outside looking in. They lose this game at home against the LA Chargers. No playoffs. You believe that? They will be out of the playoffs. There will be no way for them to get into the playoffs. They can't win the division. They've already been eliminated from the division title. A championship, a title they've held for 8-9 years. But if they lose this game, they're in jeopardy of not missing the playoffs as a whole for the first time since 2016. That's right. They need this win. I don't know. Travis Kelce has not looked like the Travis Kelce. Maybe Father Time has finally caught up to him. But drop passes, bad penalties, it's the whole offense not being in sync. It's just not adding up right for the Chiefs this year. Losing too many close games. Last year they won those close games. This year they ain't winning them. And it's costing them. They can't cost them tonight. They can't cost them in this game. They lose this game, their playoff chances are pretty much down to almost less than 5%. However, I'm not sure Herbert is fully healed. I don't think he's fully healed. And I think that hand's still bothering him. And now you got to play outdoors in the cold. Give me the Chiefs minus the 5.5 with over under 41.5. I'll take the over on this one. I still believe in the Chiefs until they until they get knocked out of the playoffs. I believe they'll make a run. I still believe in them. Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Reid, I still believe in them. Call me crazy. I still believe in them. Give me the Chiefs minus the 5.5. It's a 1:00 game. Here, next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going to Philly to take on the Eagles. Eagles are favored by 11.5 with over under 38.5. If the Eagles lose this game, I think somebody might get fired. I would not be surprised if somebody on that coaching staff gets fired if they lose this game at home against the lowly, pathetic, inept Las Vegas Raiders. You cannot. This is one of those games you just cannot lose. This is one of those games where all you should have to do is just show up, kick the ball off. Don't turn the ball over. You're going to win the game. That's all. Play your game and show up, kick the ball off, play your game, don't turn the ball over, go home. That's it. We'll see if that happens. Nevertheless, I'll take the Eagles in the minus 11.5. I'll take the under on the over under. Even the Eagles' offense is, to say the least, it stinks. It's wishy-washy at best. And I hope, and this is a game. This is a game where you could, like, if you Jalen Hurts, if you AJ Brown, this is one of them get right games. You know, you're playing a sorry team at home, and this is your chance to get right. You know, work on some things. You know, get your offense back in sync. This is one of those games where you can do that, but you got to take advantage of it. If you're the Eagles, you got to take advantage of the games like this. Because you ain't going to get too many more games on your schedule. Maybe, maybe not. And you definitely cannot lose to the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, you think you hearing it now from the Philly fans and from the fans all over the nation. Lose this game. Lose this game to the Raiders. Hell, the Browns beat the Raiders. So you ain't got no excuse if you're Phillies, if you're the Eagles. You have no excuse. None. Not Nathan. I don't care how bad your offense is. You have no freaking excuse whatsoever. Eagles losing this game at home to the Raiders. So I think you're going to come out and play. I'll give I'll pick the Eagles. Minus 11.5. I'm going to go under on 38.5 over under. That game's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Now, this is one of those games I said one team needs to win. Ravens at the Bengals. I've already explained this one. Ravens are favored by 2.5 with over under 51.5. I've already explained why the Ravens need this game. Again, can't fall too far behind Pittsburgh. You don't hold the tiebreaker on them. You better get this dub any way you can. I'm going with the Bengals. I think the Bengals going to play over their heads in this one. So give me the Bengals. I'll take the 2.5, and I'm going to go over on 51.5. Either one of these teams' defenses will wow anybody. So I'll take the Bengals. I'll go over on the 51.5. That game's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Washington heading to New York to play the Giants. Really much to play for in this one, except maybe for draft position. Giants are favored by 2.5 over under 46.5. Again, these are two teams that long since been eliminated. They're not going anywhere. I think they're playing for draft position and to see if they can get what parts of their teams can be developed more. New York already has their quarterback of the future in Jackson Dart, but they need to see what other areas of the team need to address in the draft, particularly offensive line, I think. So this is like just a game where we just, if you show up, you're a diehard fan. I'm gonna take the Giants minus 2.5, and I'll go under on the over under 46.5. Give me the Giants minus 2.5. That's a 1 o'clock start. Next, the Cleveland Browns heading to Chicago, take on the Bears. Again, there's another one of those teams I said need a win. Cleveland Browns, to see if we finally have a quarterback of the future in Shadur Sanders. Bears are favored by 7.5 with over under 38.5. Until the Browns show me they can win against a formidable team on the road, I have to bet against them. So give me the Bears minus the 7.5. And I'll go under on the over under. I think it's just going to be too cold for these teams to want to score many points. I think the elements will have something to say about that. So, Bears minus the 7.5. I'll go under on the over under of 38.5. That game's at 1 o'clock Eastern. Now we have the 4:30 games. Tennessee heading to the Bay to take on the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are favored by 12.5 with an over under 44.5. Hey, the Titans should be happy they beat Cleveland. They lucked out in beating Cleveland after blowing on damn near a 2-score lead. The 49ers ain't gonna be that kind of team to blow a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter. So the Titans need to be on their game, and they're just not a very good team. 2-11. Not a very good team at all. 49ers minus the 12.5, over under 44.5. I'm going to take the under on this, 44.5. But give me the 49ers and I'll lay the 12.5. Next, Detroit heading to Los Angeles to take on the LA Rams. Rams favored by 5.5. Again, I told you there's another one of those teams I said need to win, the Detroit Lions. They need to win just to keep pace with the Packers and the Bears in the NFC South. So they need to somehow get this win on the road. I know it's going to be one of the revenge games with Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, but however the revenge gets folded out, Detroit needs to pick this game up. But I just don't think I like their defense on the road. So give me the Rams minus the 5.5, and I'll take the over on the over. I think this is going to be a good high scoring game. I'll take the over on the 54.5 over under. Next, Panthers, New Orleans Saints. Another one of my teams that said I said need to win. Carolina. And you're playing a team you should be beating. Minus 2.5. Favorite Carolina with over under 40.5. Carolina, this is your golden opportunity to seize control of the NFC South. Don't blow it. I got the Panthers minus the 2.5. I'll take the under on over under 40.5. We got Green Bay going to Denver. This is another one of the good marquee matchups. Green Bay is favored by 2.5. How? I don't know. When you got the Denver Broncos on 110 in a row, and they're at home, I wonder how the hell Green Bay is favored. And I'm not buying the noise. Give me Denver. Give me the 2.5, and I'll go over on the over under. I believe in Denver at home. If they're at home, hard to beat. Hard to beat them at home. Even when they play lousy, even when their offense stinks, they somehow find a way to win, especially at that stadium of theirs. So I'll take the Broncos. That's a 4:30 start. You got the Indianapolis Colts heading to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 13.5 with over under 42.5. And guess what? We got a grandpa playing in this game. That's right, Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old grandpa. He might be starting this game. God bless him. And God be with them. Give me the Seahawks minus 13.5 with an over under 42.5. That defense is going to just tee off on that old man. I just hope he make it through it healthy and unscathed. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'll take the Seahawks minus 13.5. And I'll go under on the over under 42.5. Just God be with Phillip Rivers this weekend. Don't let him get seriously hurt. We'll find out. That game's at 4:30. You got the Sunday night game. The Minnesota Vikings traveling to Arlington to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 6.5, I believe, with over under 47.5. Another one of my teams I said need to win this weekend. That's Cowboys. You cannot lose to this team. Dallas, one of those teams I said that they have no more margin for error. None. Nada. Their only path to the playoffs is through the division. To win the division. They lose one more game. That's going. That's gone. They have to win out. And they still will need some help. This is the one. That's the one of the four. One of the last four. They need to get that dub. And they're at home. I believe in their offense. The defense, well, it's still work in progress. But I believe they have enough offense to get the win at home. So give me the Cowboys minus the 6.5 with over under. I'll do under on the 47.5 over under. That game's at 8:15, 8:20 Sunday night. And finally, the Dolphins heading to the Steel City to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are favored by 3 with over under 41.5. Again, this is why I have a problem picking the Steelers. I don't know which team is going to show up. Is it going to be the team that beat this? Is it going to be the team that beat the Ravens? Or is it going to be the team that got their asses handed to them by the Buffalo Bills? I don't know. I can't tell from week to week which Steelers team is going to show up. I almost didn't want to pick this game. Seriously. Because I just don't know. It's like Pittsburgh is like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the NFL. One week they play like Dr. Jekyll and the next week they're Mr. Hyde. What's it going to be this week, Pittsburgh? I'll take the Steelers, but I swear, you do this Jekyll and Hyde crap on me again, I'll never pick you again. I don't care who you playing and how much you favored by. I'm going to try to go ride with you on this one. Give me the Steelers, minus the 3. Over under 41.5. We're going to go over. I'm going to take the over on this one. That game is at Monday, 8:15. So, those are my picks for Pick'em Friday for this week 15 in the National Football League. So, That'll do it for this week. Today and this week in the Ozone. I'd like to thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Please hit the like and subscribe and drop a comment anytime. Again, I'm posting clips on TikTok and Instagram periodically throughout the week. So tune in to them. And I'll see you Monday right here in the Sports Ozone. We're going to recap all the NFL games. We're going to recap the Army-Navy game. We're going to recap the Heisman Trophy presentation. We'll do that Monday, and we're going to talk a little bit more NBA next week. We got to get into the NBA a lot more this week, and definitely we're going to preview all college football playoff games starting next week. All right? That will be right here in the Ozone. Have a good weekend.